Greetings, citizens, and welcome to another adventure of the Real Comic Heroes podcast. My name's Travis.
And I'm Patrick.
And if you're new to the show, each episode we look at the next movie from our list, which can be found at our website, realpodcastnetwork.com. And what are we discussing this week?
Some sweet, sweet Octopussy.
Oh, yeah.
It's I want to say 13th James Bond.
I've lost count at this point. It's the sixth. It's the sixth Roger Moore, and yeah, I think Connery did like 5 plus. What's his name?
Lansby or Lansby or whatever the hell it is.
Lazenby, yeah, Lazenby, yeah. So yeah, that would be 13.
Okay. Lucky 13.
Yeah.
It's hard to get past the title.
It really is. It's I think they took a chance back in Goldfinger by naming the character Pussy Galore. You know, and I think with this one it's like, well, let's see if we can push it, a little bit further. And I mean, this came from straight from Ian Fleming. I mean, it was the title of one of his like short novels was Octopussy and the Living Daylights. So they split those up to use for, titles for two different, completely different movies. But
yeah, I'm even more disturbed at knowing where the name comes from now.
Yeah.
We'll get into that later.
Oh, okay. Oh, yeah.
But, we're going to take a look at this masterpiece.
Right.
Break it into its 3 acts, which we discussed before jumping on. Basically, we have Act 1 ending around the time that Miss Magda, I guess, steals back the Fabergé egg from Bond in the hotel in India. And then second act ends right around the time we're gonna all go on a wonderful trip to the circus.
Yeah.
In good old Germany. Back when it was West and East.
Right.
That was a weird thing to get used to.
Yeah.
I was like, oh yeah, Berlin Wall, duh.
Right.
All right. So, you want to jump right into it?
Yeah, let's get into it.
I'd say there's taglines, but they're all really lame.
Are they?
Yeah. I think most of them tie into the song title that's horrible.
Oh, yeah.
It's Nobody Does It Better 13 times. And
really, that's weird.
Yeah.
Because
James Bond.
That's a weird callback to the Spy Who Loved Me.
Mm-hmm. And then there's James Bond's all-time action high.
Oh, okay.
That's the one that ties back into the song.
Yeah.
It's pretty awful. So, Act 1. I'll let you go first.
Well, I definitely want to talk about the opening. As soon as I saw the Bond pulling the trailer, and you get a look at the horse, basically the horse's ass sticking out the back and the tail, I'm like, immediately I was like, that's a fake horse tail. I'm calling it. That's going to turn into something, like it's a Q disguise, or it's it's two people in a horse costume or something. So right off the bat, I knew something would be up with the horse.
Yeah.
So that comes back, and then I had a note like, does every communist leader look like Castro?
Oh yeah,
because like in every movie, there's always that stereotypical, military drab green outfit with the beard and the mustache and the cigar and the military hat, and it's just, and I don't know if are they trying to make this guy actually Castro, or is it just the idea that?
Yeah, I assumed it was supposed to be just because of the stogie and like the beard and the whole getup.
Right.
I think they were going for a Castro-esque figure.
Yeah.
I mean, they also had him leering at that lady
Yeah, I noticed that
being all
too.
creepy. It's just weird. It was a weird open.
See, I like it once it gets going.
Yeah.
Once it turns into a chase,
Mm-hmm.
because
Because
Oh, go ahead.
it's at like some kind of horse like race or show of some sort,
Yeah,
but there's a
so
military base right next to
sure.
it. I was trying to figure out what the hell was going on.
Yeah, I don't think there's any like. I don't think it's a very complicated story as far as the opening goes, and it's one of those nice openings that it's completely separate from the rest of the movie. So it's just this one
Yeah.
little self-contained opening, and yeah, they
Just Bond being his horrible spy self
sure
with his fake mustache.
instantly gets captured. But then
Yeah.
I really like the I guess his contact or just his partner.
Yeah.
You know, her driving up next to them, and you know, I really do like the pretty lady in the in the next lane fake out kind of thing. That's really cool. And I like how Bond takes out the two guys and then jumps over, and then you see him coming up beside the cab of the truck, and he's got the gun on him. So it was, I thought, pretty clever and funny, and it's suitably Roger Moore.
Yeah.
So yeah, overall the opening really worked for me, especially just the plane stunts that we get in another minute or two.
Yeah. I can tell you've been doing minute podcasts. You just said it in a minute or two.
Oh yeah, yeah.
In the next minute will be
yeah, spoilers.
yeah, I was digging it. Like the you get off of the horse ass.
Yeah.
Where Bond sort of is put into a little collapse wing car plane thing.
Yeah, which are apparently those are like it was like a homemade kit.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah.
Yeah, and it was surprisingly quick.
Yeah, yeah.
Like I thought it was moving at a pretty good clip considering it looked, like a box car or was it soapbox derby racer
right.
with wings. So the only thing that threw me off was like the big explosion at the end.
Okay.
I'm like, isn't there like tons of spectators like just next to that thing?
I guess it's far enough away because they did. Let me think.
That was a huge explosion, and then like the crowd all reacts, and
oh yeah.
I'm
thinking it's a few miles down the road because they drove from one to the other, and then he flies out of the trailer, and then I don't know. They're definitely nearby, but I don't think that they're. I don't think this plane hangar is attached to the horse complex.
So is it a different location than where he got caught? Because where he got caught was by the horse thing, because that's where he got out the horse trailer. Or the lady parked the horse trailer.
You're right. He parks the horse trailer, walks to the hangar,
yeah,
and then gets caught. So okay, so they are within walking distance. So yeah,
that was a pretty good explosion.
Civilians were maimed, and
that's all I'm saying.
Okay, yeah.
Bond's got some explaining.
So Bond, yet again, is a terrible agent.
Yes.
Okay.
I just wrote down collateral damage. Oh jeez, but yeah, Bond was like, God. It's like every time they show him, like at the beginning, I see how much he's aged.
So I didn't notice it as much in this movie.
It got better as it went, but right off the bat, I was like, oof.
Okay.
Looking old there, Bondy.
Because I know last time we were with him, what was it? For Your Eyes Only, maybe?
Is that the one with the skater?
Yeah, and he was like hoofing it up the hill, and they would they'd show it like they'd show the car that he's like basically chasing, and then they'd cut back to him, and he's just wheezing up this hill.
Yeah.
In that whole movie, it just seemed like let's give him really easy stunts and very little fighting. But this one, I thought he looked better. Like I'm guessing he maybe got in a little bit better shape between the last movie and this one. Just overall, I thought he looked better in this one than he did in the previous movie.
Yeah. Yeah. I'd say that the stunt man really earned his paycheck on this
Yeah,
movie.
for sure. And I
All
guess
right.
got injured in the train stunt later on down the towards the end of the movie. Like,
Oh, really?
yeah, like broke his leg or something. He was, I don't know, hanging on to the train too long, and they were ended up hitting like a post or something that was, I don't know, unexpected. So
Oh, that sucks.
yeah, so
Yeah,
yeah,
there
that's
was.
go ahead.
I go. I think the explosion closes out that opening sequence, doesn't it?
Yeah, there's a little bit of flying, and then
He
let me
dives
think.
into the airplane hangar, and
I know
then it
it.
hits him there
Yeah,
or something.
I know it ends with him like cruising up to the gas station and asking him to
Yeah.
fill it up. So,
Okay.
but yeah,
And then we go into this horrible music
yeah, it's not.
sequence.
I'll say this: like I watched this movie basically twice. I watched it in separate chunks for like the first 2/3 of the movie the first time, and yeah, it's been a little while since we've recorded, so this is going back a few weeks, and
Yeah.
then so I rewatched it last night, the first 2/3 of it again, and then the last bit of it today at lunch. So just to refamiliarize myself with it. And the title song works better the second time. It's not as bad, but it's still definitely it's pretty low on my list of Bond songs. So
I think I just always wanted to say the title now.
sure,
Like I was expecting it to be like
yeah.
Octopussy.
To me, this one just falls into oh, the For Your Eyes Only and the Spy Who Loved Me. That song we were just talking about earlier. The name of which escapes me.
Oh,
We just said
shoot.
you just said it in that
Yeah,
that
it's
tagline.
I got it up here. Hold on.
Completely
Nobody
blank.
does it better.
There you go.
Yep.
So this song just falls into me into those with me, and I just don't really care for that style of Bond
Yeah.
song.
I was thrown off by the silhouettes because there was a dude in it.
Yeah, the last few have had they've used Roger Moore quite a bit in the last couple.
Because he had like a lady mounted on his hips.
Yeah, I think it was like an ice skater. I doubt that
Yeah,
was Roger Moore, but yeah, they've had
I
a
didn't I didn't quite get that. Like I kept expecting to see an ice skating scene, but it was all
probably
circus stuff.
yeah,
So
probably off the last movie. They were probably like, well,
yes.
let's what's in right now. Well, who knows?
Yeah, I just usually when I see something in that sequence, it correlates to the movie
Yeah,
in some way. Like if it was like like
sure.
acrobatics
Yeah,
and
that would
circus
make
stuff,
sense. Yeah,
but
and
the ice skating, I was like, huh, all right.
I feel like they did one that had a lot of like acrobatic, almost like high wire act type stuff. Like
Yep.
so, yeah. Like I guess they probably felt like they couldn't do that one again. So
Yeah, usually it's fairly acrobatic anyway. It's just
yeah,
like
girls on
people doing,
trampolines.
yeah, exactly,
Yeah,
doing flips and jostling about.
yeah.
Uh,
So I want to jump into when we first see Bond at the MI6 headquarters, and we get to see they do kind of a fake out where it seems
hmm
like they're introducing the new Moneypenny,
Yeah,
and obviously the real Moneypenny pops up and says this is I forget what she
her,
says, but
her assistant Penelope.
yeah,
It's Penelope Smallbone.
small bone. Yeah, I really think this is an awful hint at recasting or replacing Lois Maxwell with a younger, hotter, whatever actress, and because it seems like that's what they're trying to imply, like, hey, this is going to be the new one.
Yeah,
I think it's just really shitty to do that, with and even in the scene to have her mention like, yep, I think she even says like, you're the he'll charm you, or that's all you'll ever get from him is
yeah.
the flower that he gives her, and so I don't know. I just that moment just did not sit well with me. it's because she's been Moneypenny from the start, and
yeah,
like I get it in the sense that they weren't sure if Roger Moore was going to come back and play Bond again. So I'm sure in the moment, or in leading up to this movie, they probably figured, well, we have an opportunity. If Roger Moore doesn't come back, we can recast a couple of these people. I mean, Bernard Lee just died in the last movie, so he's no longer going to be M, and sure, it was a chance to recast a couple of their roles, but
yeah, I've always wanted her to just graduate to The Office,
sure,
like become the M,
yeah,
or whatever.
I would be, yeah.
And I thought that's what they were getting at, just because I have no idea where her character goes. Because honestly, I can't remember if she's even in the Brosnan ones.
I don't think she is. It's someone else, and I definitely I don't think they recast. They might recast her in the Dalton era. I'm not too certain, but
so I think what's her face? Is it Judi Dench?
Yes.
In the new ones, wasn't she? She was more than the Moneypenny character.
What? No, she wasn't Moneypenny. She was M.
Oh, maybe that's what I'm getting screwed up then.
Yeah, she was M from GoldenEye until Skyfall.
Gotcha.
So, and I could see them doing the now that they've introduced the Moneypenny in the Daniel Craig Bond movies, as she's kind of a field agent.
That's right.
And then she's now.
She's the one that she shot Bond in that, right? She was in the field and accidentally shot him.
But I could see them with taking her now that you've got you have a Moneypenny that has field experience, and then she's also got the administrative side of it as well. Like that could be a good recipe for an eventual M.
Well, does this M have any field experience? I always just pictured him as a politician.
They made reference to, I think it was in You Only Live Twice, about M and Bond being in Japan together, or I got the impression that the Bernard Lee M was once an agent.
Okay.
And then I definitely get that impression with the Ralph Fiennes M from like Spectre and Skyfall. Like he was definitely, I think, in the field. So
okay.
So I could see them using M or using Moneypenny as an eventual M,
Yeah.
But I don't get the sense that Lois Maxwell's Moneypenny ever had field experience.
No.
Aside from maybe going out, to handle. She popped up in Amsterdam, I think, in Diamonds Are Forever. Just like a brief thing. I think it was like he was picking up a rental car or something like that. So,
gotcha.
But yeah. So just I don't know, for as little time as we get with Moneypenny, I think it's just a really awful scene, with her. So it's unfortunate.
Yeah, I did kind of like that she was warning the new girl.
I liked her in it, but it's just unfortunate that they put her in that situation.
Sure. But I mean, it's just going to be weird if they had a younger Bond with her.
Sure.
Like, you're not going to get that same back and forth kind of. Otherwise, she's going to seem like a creepy old lady.
Right.
Yeah. I mean, right now, at least Roger Moore's in her range.
Yeah.
But if the next Bond is, say, like in his late 20s, early 30s, it's going to get kind of weird.
Sure.
It's going to be like Bond in the ice figure. Or ice
right.
Figure.
Yeah.
So I could see what they were doing. It was sort of like hedging their bets.
Right.
Let's see. Oh, we did get to see 009.
Oh, that's true. Yeah, I jumped over that. The clown in the woods, which is perfect nightmare ingredients.
I know. I wrote, awesome nightmare fuel.
Oh, perfect.
Because, like, he just crashes into that lady's
Yeah.
room with a knife in his back. It's just like so fucking creepy.
Yeah.
But like the whole time I was wondering why, like I didn't know what was going on. It was very chaotic
Sure.
because it just smash cuts to like a clown running through the woods,
Yeah, and then you got the
and
one guy chasing him,
yeah,
and
and
then
then
it turns out he's got like obviously an identical twin.
yeah.
Yeah,
And for
it is
some
weird.
knife throwers, they are horrible. Like they throw more knives and
Yeah,
hit less people than stormtroopers with blasters.
right. Towards
Like,
the end of the movie, it's definitely they're hitting their marks because they pin one of them pins Bond to a doorway, and that's I think he's hitting exactly where he wants to hit each time.
yeah, but that's stupid.
I
Like,
agree, but hey, he's proud of his work, and he's going to take every
uh,
opportunity.
that's just
You know.
okay. Yeah.
Let's
Okay.
see. I
Okay,
don't
I
know
think
how much
it's
I want to.
yeah, it sort of goes into them talking in their office about the Fabergé egg
Yeah,
and some guy that's like an expert that's going to that auction with
right.
Bond. And I don't know, I didn't dig that whole
I
sequence too much.
I didn't dig the build up to it, because we get
Yeah.
the obvious like James of course is an expert on Fabergé eggs. Um, but as far as like the inciting incident that starts this movie off, like a Fabergé egg is a little
Yeah.
lame, I think. But I will say, in a few moments, like the auction scene, I thought was fantastic. Like not because it was specifically about the Fabergé egg, but it's that it's kind of like the golf scene in Goldfinger. Like it's just it's a private little war almost. Bond is besting this guy at an auction, and he does the sleight of hand with the egg itself,
Oh,
and forcing his opponent basically to overbid. So it's just a nice, slick little
yeah, I
moment. So
hated that part.
really,
The sleight of hand. Who is going to let you take it under the desk? This 300 million pound thing or whatever the
yeah,
hell it
but
is.
it's such a like slick motion of just all he's doing.
As soon as he did it, I'm like,
Yeah,
why is nobody saying anything?
right.
Like he brings it underneath the paper,
Yeah,
through his lap, and then back out again.
yeah,
I was just like, okay, come on. He is no magician, that is for sure.
right.
He's got to work on his close-up magic.
Yeah,
So do you want to jump to India?
I think so. I mean, there's not a ton more between the auction and them leading up to India. So
Yeah,
yeah,
no.
yeah, I'm good to go.
Okay. So we get the well, I was just gonna skip to the scene where Bond has his first real, well, I guess it's his second duel with our mysterious man at the dice table,
Oh, okay. Yeah,
where he's watching, like, I think some like Navy general or
yeah,
some kind of military guy getting swindled
yeah,
with suspicious dice.
yeah. It's nice that he instantly recognizes what's going on,
Yeah.
and it's again it kind of falls into that golf scene from Goldfinger and the auction, like I was just talking about. Like it's those nice little adversarial moments. That it's not an action scene. It's just a simple. They're playing backgammon, and it's really fun. So
Yeah, I just enjoyed the. I mean, it was kind of literally throwing everything out in the open by throwing down that egg, but I
right,
was like, damn, he didn't
yeah.
waste any time.
I like when Bond gets to gamble because it seems like he gets to do as he wishes with the money that he wins. And you would think that it would all go to Her Majesty, but it
Nope.
seems like he's able to do with it what he pleases. So it's
Well, I mean,
I like getting to see him gamble.
Yeah, and he used it well in this chase sequence that followed.
Sure.
So, I mean, the winnings became a life jacket of sorts for
Yeah.
Bond in the end. It was kind of funny watching him throw the money around and have people get in the way.
Yeah, but could you do that? I mean, I guess you could do that today because any crowd would,
Oh yeah,
instantly like react to
I give you
cash raining down. So
I give you the Joker in Batman.
yeah, yeah. Yeah, that whole like marketplace India scene, it's like a little too Raiders, just chasing,
Yeah,
the chase through the market kind of sequence, but and especially with like the setups of the fire breather and the fire walker and the bed of nails guy and a
he
couple other
uses
like
his surroundings very well.
he does, but it's like it's so telegraphed. Like,
Oh yeah,
hey, these guys are going to be important here in a few minutes, so you're
it,
definitely you know what's coming.
it's very,
Um,
hey, we're in India.
yes, yes,
Here's a snake charmer and a
right,
bed nails, fire eater, swallower of swords.
yeah. Speaking of that, the snake charmer, thing.
Uh,
It's his contact, and he's
yeah.
obviously playing the, I don't know what's a flute, or if there's a
Oh, snake
separate
charmer.
name for it, but yeah, the instrument.
Oh,
I don't
yeah,
know
I
if it's
can't
just a
remember.
flute or whatever, but he breaks into the actual James Bond theme,
Uh-huh.
and Bond acknowledges it by saying like "nice tune," and it's so like really, but
Maybe that's the tune to know that that's his contact.
I mean, but exactly that's what tips him off that hey,
And
but why
yeah,
would he know that tune?
because M told him to listen for this. And then he played a James Bond
Here,
episode.
watch these James Bond movies. But it's kind of
It's very meta.
it's very meta, and especially meta when considering the original James Bond theme song was written by a guy named Monty Norman, who wrote a play called like In the House of Mr. Beeswax, and it was a Indian play or
Hmm.
Indian like themed, so it was very like that typical Indian I think string instrument that you hear like think of, I don't know, when you think of Indian music, it's that sound that I think instantly comes to mind.
Yeah.
Um, so it's kind of played with that kind of tone,
Sure.
and they adapted it to be the James Bond theme. So it's kind of fitting that it's an Indian guy playing
Hmm.
the James Bond theme with a snake charming flute. So, but
Yeah.
it just takes you out of it for a second. But
Yeah. Well,
um,
that's kind of Roger Moore's Bond, though. There's
yeah, kind
constant
of
like winks and
sure,
sort of things like that that
yeah,
sort of cheese up a moment here and there.
right.
Um, but I liked VJ in this,
I
the
liked him.
contact.
Yeah, I really liked him. The using the tennis racket like once they're fighting in the car was a little like just because apparently he really is a tennis pro, and he
Yeah,
must have been like at the height of popularity at this time. Um, but just the crowd reaction to looking each direction as he hits them like it's a
yeah.
little much,
Oh yeah, yeah,
but I love the when they make off with the like they go through the paper wall and then instantly the next one drops.
yeah.
Yeah, I really like that.
And then you get
Let's see.
Q's
Yeah,
layer.
Indian MI6.
Yeah. Oh god. Can I explain how much I hated that rope gadget?
I did too. The rope, then the fake door. It's like, why does he
Yeah,
keep showing him this stuff that he's not going to use?
yeah. And
The Q frustration with Bond is getting a little old. It's like we've done this dance,
yeah,
I, a few too many times.
yeah. I didn't really even write much down. I was just
Yeah.
like, okay, same old thing.
Then there's the boob like the cleavage,
Oh,
gag with the
yeah,
video watch. I don't know if that would play today or not.
Yeah, that was cheesy.
Yeah.
And I just like that they kept it on there.
Right. Yeah.
Like the whole time afterwards.
Yeah.
And she's just like,
Yeah. Just completely.
boys being boys.
Yeah.
But yeah, I don't know. It's weird to me just because of, I don't know. It's just creepy when he does it.
It's very creepy because
Like,
he's in a couple different ways. It's you just look like a pervy old man, and then I don't even think. Well, I guess I could see Connery doing this as well, but you would never see Daniel Craig or probably not even Brosnan pull
the
a move like that.
difference is, I think Connery would keep it to himself
Yeah, you're right.
instead of going, "Hey guys, look
Yeah,
what I found, boobies."
right. Yeah,
He'd be like, "Oh, nice picture."
yeah, yeah, yeah. That's a good point. He would just say something clever and then
Yeah,
move on. Yeah,
move on. Yeah, but Moore likes to linger,
yeah,
and I think that's what makes it creepy.
right.
Oh, but yeah, I mean that's pretty much all I had for the first act. I know there's more with
Yeah.
Magda and meeting up with her.
Yeah, they have like a dinner scene, and I am not feeling the chemistry with her and Bond at all. I
Yeah,
think it's more her performance that I really don't care for. I
yeah,
think she's probably the worst performance in the movie, just her acting, but I did notice like the age gap there doesn't bother me, and I'm not sure
yeah.
why. Like they don't.
She looks older.
Yeah, but not a Moneypenny type. She's
Well,
still
no, I mean I'd say in her 30s at least.
sure.
You know,
So
where
they're
she's not
getting
like,
better about I think the
yeah.
kind of the ladies that he hooks up with. So
Because even Octopussy is older,
right, yeah,
like closer to his age.
yeah. So yeah, that's I don't really have anything. Oh, I definitely want to mention how awesome it is when she leaves the balcony. The
Yeah, the Cirque du Soleil trick.
yeah, the wrap that she's got on that she
Yeah,
uses to lower herself all the way down. It's really cool.
yeah.
So that's pretty much
Yeah.
all I've got for Act One.
Okay. Let's see. Act two. Wow, I did not write down much.
Yeah.
The first thing I wrote down was so this is where what is it? Temple of Doom got their Indian cuisine idea.
Yeah, and I think I think I would have thought that it was the other way around, but yeah, just based on the timeline, this would have come
Yeah,
first. So,
I was like,
um,
why do people think Indian people eat this, or why do people think that the Indian culture eats these weird things?
ooh, monkey brains.
What is this, a goat head, a
Yeah,
stuffed goat head?
yeah.
Because
Which
for
I
the
think
most part, aren't they vegetarian? like,
oh, I don't know. Well, I don't know.
like a lot of their stuff, like the
Yeah,
food I'm familiar with, is sort of vegetable based.
yeah,
Like, I mean, curry is not very meat oriented.
right.
Uh,
Yeah.
uh, what was that? That baba ganoush or baba
I
ganache?
don't know.
Whatever.
I've definitely eaten a few Indian like buffets that we have around here, and eaten the goat curry. So
Well, I know, like, with, well, hopefully this is accurate, but like the sacredness of cows, so
sure.
beef's off the limit, off the
Yeah,
menu.
yeah. I think that's
And
why the goats are fair game.
yeah, I guess. I don't know. Like, I don't picture too many barbecue joints in India just
Yeah.
cooking up meat. But yeah, I was less than thrilled with the eyeball.
Yeah. It.
I was,
I'm glad it looked like he was just eating a chunk of mozzarella. So
yeah,
had it looked like it, I mean, I don't know. Had it looked
yeah.
more realistic, I would have, had a problem. But
And it was just like him trying to one up Bond and show
right.
him, like, oh, I can eat this.
And I really kind of wanted him to just play along and just deal with it because I think Bond should be ready for any situation. Like he shouldn't be squeamish when it comes to local cuisine. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I figure our closest person to Bond is Bear Grylls, and he would eat that in no time at all.
Right.
It's a delicacy.
Yeah.
Let's see. So
I
this is
do
where
like. I really like.
Oh, sorry.
I was just gonna say we haven't really mentioned some of the other people so far. Like I like
Sure.
Kamal Khan, who is played by Louis Jourdan, who we saw in Swamp Thing. So
Hmm.
I enjoy him. I probably liked him a little bit better in Swamp Thing, but he definitely gets more. It's a different character in this.
Yeah.
He's more like when you first see him, you think he's in charge, but then you find out he's actually working for somebody and kind
Hmm.
of working for a few people. So it's a different character in that regard. So, but
Yeah, he's kind of he's our villain,
yeah, but
but it's not structured like a normal Bond movie.
right, he's ultimately the mastermind, but he's not the main villain at the start.
Yeah, he
Like
doesn't have the resources. He's playing another
yeah,
person to have the resources
yeah.
available to pull it off. So he's sort of a henchman that's taken it upon himself to step up to the big leagues, I guess.
There you go. Yeah.
Yeah, and we should say Bond is captured, surprisingly.
Oh yeah, that goes without saying. We're in Act Two. Bond is
Yeah.
captured, of course.
Yeah.
At this point, it's like there's a lot going on with. You've got Russia, who we haven't even talked about, because you've got an
Oh,
earlier
yeah.
scene with two Russian generals who are both at opposite ends in terms of like what direction they feel Russia should be going in.
Yeah.
And so our basically our bad guy is General Orlov, and he's the one like who is somehow using these Fabergé eggs and other counterfeit jewelry items and antiquities. He's using those. I'm trying to figure it out. Okay, so
Yeah, it's a weird plan.
he's using Kamal Khan to produce the forgeries, and then Khan is using Octopussy and her circus to smuggle them out. But I don't know then how that relates to Russian
Yeah.
strength of military. So
Somehow they're getting money out of the deal. I couldn't
yeah, I guess
pin it together.
maybe this is just what's funding Orlov's military goals. I don't know.
It
So
seems like a pretty uh, sort of skimpy way to go about it
yeah, yeah,
because military equipment's quite expensive,
right,
and I don't see that being nearly enough money to.
right. Considering the Fabergé egg was they valued it like at 250, maybe 300,000 pounds.
Yeah,
So maybe you get enough Fabergé eggs, but it seemed like this was a pretty one of a kind, pretty rare instance where one of these comes to auction. So
yeah. I think they said more and more were coming up,
right, more and more
but
forgeries, I think.
yeah,
Yeah. So
because
I
there's a guy within Russia at a museum that was doing the forgeries,
yeah,
and his character was just thrown in there to explain
right.
who was making it. I guess I don't know.
Yeah. It was I tried basically not to focus too much on
Yeah, the plan was kind of lame.
yeah, it really at this point it's just kind of more, Bond versus Kamal
Yeah,
Khan, and basically the second act is kind of just him. He's skulking around his palace. He's snooping around like on the ledge. He sees the general, I think Gogol, or no, I think it's Orlov. He
yeah,
arrives at the palace, and then later on he sneaks around in the kind of the lower levels of the palace, and then hides in a body bag, and then
yeah.
starts his like jungle
Uh,
escape, which
can I just say the whole woogie boogie? Yeah.
yeah,
Oh, that was awful.
it would have
It's like,
fit in a Live and Let Die, but
why
yeah,
didn't he just let him toss him?
right.
Like he just gave himself away like right away.
Yeah, I
I
don't
mean,
know.
I guess maybe he didn't know how far they were going to pitch him.
That could be. And he didn't know where they were tossing these bodies.
Yeah, it could have been a river or
So,
something, I
yeah,
guess.
it could have been a deep hole that he wouldn't have been able to climb out of. So,
It was just weird.
Yeah, and then parts of this, I will say the jungle hunt chase it's different than I think any chase we've really had up to this point.
Yeah. Yeah, I had serious issues with it.
Yeah, and that goes like both ways. It's different in a good way and different like, do we really need the Tarzan yell as he's,
Yeah.
vining through the jungle?
You know what? I hate this movie because of that scene,
Okay.
and it making me not give as much shit to Crystal Skull.
Okay.
I'm like, okay, it's not their fault now.
Right.
It's all James Bond that did
Yeah.
this.
Well, and if you think about it, Return of the Jedi was also in '83, and Chewbacca does a Tarzan yell as he's in the Endor fight.
Well, that makes more sense. He's a animal that would make that noise.
It doesn't bother me really in Jedi. I just wanted to point out that apparently Tarzan must have been kind of big right at this point. So
Yeah, I don't quite get that because isn't it an older character, like from the
it's like a
50s or something?
Yeah, is it Sir Arthur Conan Doyle or is it someone else like that?
I'll just assume everyone really liked Captain Caveman.
Yeah,
which is basically Tarzan.
I think it might be Edgar Rice Burroughs. Might have been created Tarzan. I don't know.
Yeah.
Regardless.
Yeah, and the whole making the tiger sit.
Yeah. They're definitely finding weird ways to, around like putting more in real action moments.
Yeah. But do you know how he got to the elephant strap to...
No, he's 15 feet away from it when he sees it, and then suddenly he's right there on it. But
so he apparently is Nightcrawler's dad?
Well, and that'll come back. That'll come back later because he gets out of a situation in the train car later. So,
oh yeah,
the 1 second he's inside of a gorilla costume, and then the next second he's, while being watched, has managed to get out of the costume and go to the ceiling or the escape hatch of the. I don't want to talk about Bond in a gorilla costume anymore. So.
Yeah, it just made me think of Trading Places.
Me too. Yeah.
Or Trading Places.
Yeah, Places. Yeah.
Good Lord.
Yeah. I at this point, like once he's escaped, then it's like he takes notice of the Octopussy. It's a different location, but it's her. I don't know what you'd call it. Not lair, but
yeah, Bond finds out there's an island of ladies or whatever,
based on the tattoo that Magda has.
Yeah,
and it matching the flag on some boat that he sees a bunch of ladies disembarking from.
Yep. This is where I get disturbed by the origin of Octopussy.
Okay, before that, I want to talk about the Bond Gator that is it's the newest accessory in every Peeping Tom's arsenal.
Well, it's just an upgrade from that duck or whatever it was on Connery's head.
Totally, it allows him get in nice and close so that he can get a look at what's going on with.
See some Octopussy butt.
Yep. What are your thoughts on Maud Adams as Octopussy?
I liked her.
I liked her as this character. I think it's weird to cast someone who's played a Bond girl already. 'Cause she was in The Man with the Golden Gun as his girlfriend.
Oh, really?
It's the one that Roger Moore slaps around in order to get the location of, I think, the gun maker or the bullet maker. I want to say, and then later on she gets killed. I think at the sumo wrestling, or is it a sumo wrestling event? But either way, she gets killed by the Man with the Golden Gun later. So,
gotcha.
So yeah, same actress, different character. It's just weird, I think.
See, I didn't even make the connection, so it didn't bother me.
I guess it works on other instances. I mean, General Gogol from this movie was a KGB agent in From Russia with Love. So different character, same actor. So I guess it can work, but
Yeah, I guess I just have a out of sight, out of mind with
okay,
Bond characters because I didn't know any of that.
gotcha.
But I just liked her. She seemed like stronger than a normal Bond lady.
Yeah, she reminded me a lot of Pussy Galore, just in the way that she
Hmm.
has like, what did I have? She leads like a team of women.
Yeah.
She's not really evil, but she does work with some shady types.
Hmm.
And then, unfortunately, she basically gets one night with Bond and turns it all around. So, but I guess Persis Kambata, who was in Star Trek, the motion picture, she was what was her name? The one that makes contact with V'ger.
Oh,
She
okay.
was considered for the role, and a bunch of other she was like one of two actual Indian actresses who were considered for the role, but then they wanted to go European with her, and they thought about putting Maud Adams darkening her skin and giving her dark hair. And so I guess they rightfully so they decided no, we'll just change her backstory so that she was raised by an Indian family, and then that got changed further to just they dropped that altogether and just say that her father was a British traitor that Bond arrested like 20 years ago and allowed to
I'll let him kill himself.
let him kill himself with honor.
Yeah.
So it's interesting that they have history, but then when I was first watching it, it's like they have history, and it just made me think of the Man with the Golden Gun. So,
Gotcha. So, tell me, what did her father call her?
oh, he always called her his little Octopussy.
What? I was like, so that's the title. Oh,
Yeah,
fantastic. A creepy name for your daughter. Oh,
yeah,
yeah. I visibly wanted to. Yeah, if you looked at me when that was explained, I almost threw up.
wow, yeah.
I was just like, whoa, that's so creepy.
It's a poor it's a poorly done reason for the name because
Yeah.
it doesn't strengthen your case.
No.
Yeah. So moving on, what do you think of the palace fight?
I enjoyed the octopus in the face.
I did too, especially when I remembered later that they say that
Yeah.
specific octopus injects a venom
Hmm.
that because at first it's just kind of like an alien face hugger, and I do like that they cut back to it and it's like making a weird suction motion.
Yeah. Yeah.
So
It's like,
I enjoyed it. Yeah,
but I was bummed out that my man VJ got
I
the.
know, man.
I was like, man, I liked him.
Yeah,
And
got
the weird saw blade guy, the yo-yo blade.
yeah, the death yo-yo.
Yeah.
Pretty
That was
grim.
that was the stupidest weapon I've ever seen in my life.
Oh, see, I kind of dug it. I mean,
Oh,
I saw something, might have been like a Mythbusters or some type of show where they were trying to figure out it was like that old Chinese weapon where they'd take a hat
yeah.
off and can they make a hat that you can chop someone's head off with, basically. And it
Hmm.
is kind of based on this type of weapon that is essentially a yo-yo. It's got a chain and you can fling it and it spins, and so I think it might be adapted from a real weapon, but it's
I think the problem I have with it is that he uses it like it's a stealth weapon,
that's yeah, and
but
it's
it's loud
it's
as
loud as
fuck.
shit.
Yeah, even without the sweat conveniently
Yeah,
dropping,
yeah,
I think Bond still would have had time to get away from that.
sure. But I think that's just really they probably shot it. Obviously, I don't think it would make much noise on its own, so they probably decided let's add some noise just to ramp up the excitement here.
Then it seems like a unwieldy kind of weapon.
Yeah,
Like
You definitely have to wear like big, heavy gloves to handle it.
And once it's out there, it's vulnerable.
Yeah.
I mean, you saw it get stuck in the table there.
Yeah.
So, but
yeah, I was bummed to see VJ go, because he's like, I would say he's one of the most likable sidekicks since Quarrel from Doctor No.
Doctor No,
Yeah.
It was kind of funny that he was like massaging Bond.
Yeah.
In that one scene.
Yeah.
I was like, what does this guy not do?
Yeah.
He plays tennis. He massages. He can drive a weird taxi cart like nobody's
Kick some
business.
ass with a tennis racket.
That's right. It's a man of many talents.
Oh yeah.
That
That pretty much takes us to the end of Act 2.
Yep.
With Bond saying that he's going to go to the circus in Karl Marxstadt, which Karl Marx is a Russian figure.
Yeah.
But it seemed like they go to Germany, so I'm not quite certain. Or they might be like on the border between Russia and West Germany.
Well, they start off in West Germany, or no, Eastern Germany, whatever. Eastern Germany, where Russia has a foothold.
Okay.
So it would make sense that there'd be I mean, they may have renamed it, or.
Okay. I'm real.
Done whatever.
This is where my geography and history really fails me.
Because Western Germany is the U.S. side.
Oh, that's right. Of course, yeah.
Because Eastern's closer to Russia.
Yeah, yeah.
So, come on, look at that map.
Yeah, I'm getting.
They had a very nice PowerPoint presentation at the beginning of the movie with the Russian tanks.
They did. That room was sick with that huge table that rotates for no goddamn reason.
No, and a giant picture of, I think, Lenin.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Like engraved, and then the sickle and hammer. I was like, geez. Did you get this at like the Russians Are Us store? I don't know if any place is really that Russianed up.
I feel like the pictures of Lenin are accurate. That I feel is the giant table in the middle of the room that rotates. That's just money that they threw at the production.
Yeah.
For no reason.
I'm kind of bummed in this movie, so there's no like real great villain layer.
Yeah, they go to that like the jewelry
island is
the palace. Yeah, so many different locations. Like
because he's not even a good enough villain to have a lair.
Yeah, well, and it changes because then once they leave India, then it's all basically a train and a circus. So, it's a weird third act because we're in the third act, and I have zero clue what the plot is as far as what the villain's plot is, and finally a bomb shows up.
Yeah,
I mean,
yeah. At this point, I thought it was just financing tanks.
Yeah, I thought it was just jewelry counterfeiting and smuggling, but it's like, thank you for bringing in a bomb. So
nice.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's a lot of time spent on the first circus scene.
Yeah, and completely.
Way too much.
Oh yeah, I completely missed that there was a element of double crossing going on because I couldn't figure out like what roles Khan had with the Russian guy, with Octopussy and Magda were there, and it was.
Yeah, I wasn't sure where Magda fell in. It didn't until later, where she was left behind.
Because at the start of the movie, you think she's one of Khan's girlfriend or whatever, but she's completely loyal to Octopussy. So, but yeah, you're right. You do. I guess we do get. There are two circus kind of moments, aren't there?
Yeah, it's the first one in East Germany in Makashan, the Karl Marx place.
Yeah.
They show the guy with the fairy wings flying through the air.
Right, that's right, yeah.
And then
setting up some of that stuff.
Yeah, the Knife Brothers and all that stuff.
That's right, and then they get on the train to go to the next circus.
Well, all that is where that shell game starts with the jewels and the bomb.
Right.
So I guess the jewels were going to go back to the Olav guy. General Olav.
Yeah.
And they were going to just move the car with the bomb in its place instead of the jewels.
Right.
And that's where the shenanigans ensue.
Yeah, I do like that. That is it, I think it's Orlov. I like it. He kind of gets it because of they misinterpret his chasing after the train as him defecting, so they just shoot him and stop him from basically leaving the border. And really, he's just trying to get to the jewels, and his whole motivation is a stronger Russia, who doesn't. What is it? He's in favor of more weapons and a stronger Russia, and the other Gogol, who we've seen a few times now, like he's in favor of working with NATO and the disarmament. So that's kind of like the B or C plot to this movie, as far as Russia is concerned.
Yeah, I think Orlov, or whatever you say his name is, he was the one that wanted to keep moving the red of Russia further west.
Yeah.
Instead of sort of, as he said, giving in and sort of letting the impotent old men sort of take the heart of Russia away.
Yeah. So I like the interaction that the two of them have with kind of his last few breaths, and saying that today, I forget how he says it. Today's something, but tomorrow he'll be a hero.
Yeah.
So.
I was just saying we should probably get to the. I was talking about the car on the rails.
Okay. Oh yeah, the Mercedes or whatever on the Yeah.
We don't get a real Bond car in this movie. So.
No, we don't. He drives that, and he drives like a Citroen or something later on that he steals from that lady.
Yeah. Forgot about that.
Yeah.
I mean the train has its moments.
Yeah.
It's really good in some moments, but when they close up on Roger Moore, it can get kind of we're in front of the screen. Yeah. But when it's not like that, it's great.
I really dig Khan's henchman. His name's like Gobinda, I think is his name.
Yeah.
He has a look like it's almost, he's not as menacing as like a Jaws, but he's got like this intimidating look,
Yeah, he's Jaws-esque.
Yeah.
Because he's got like super strength of sorts when he crushes the weighted die. Yeah.
But as far as like train fights go, this one didn't disappoint me. Yeah, there are those moments, the rear projection and the close-ups on Roger Moore definitely, not great, but like this one, I really enjoyed this one. So,
and you get you get the on top of the train car, then under the train car.
Sure.
I kind of like that he gets thrown off the train, though.
Yeah, I wasn't expecting that. That was a nice, surprise. Like, you'd think that the fight would end on a train, but he gets...
So that was a pleasant surprise.
Yeah.
And he's surprisingly spry for a older gentleman to survive that.
Yeah.
Get back up.
And then he kind of hoofs it through the woods, I think, for a little short beat, as
some shanty.
Dealing with one of it's Mishka and Grishka or something like that, the two knife-throwing twins.
In IMDb, they're listed as Twin 1 and Twin 2.
Wow.
That's funny.
I tried looking up earlier when the first circus sequence, when they're doing their knife act. I don't know if they were just professional knife throwers and were able to do that trick, with the one brother like spinning on the wheel and him actually throwing the knives, because I don't know how else you would shoot that. So it looked convincing, and if it was a real stunt, it impressed the hell out of me. So
So we get Bond stuck to the door by some well-placed knives, I guess.
Yeah, expertly thrown
Yeah.
by a master craftsman, not a goddamn stormtrooper shooting all willy-nilly.
Yeah, you know what? One of those, you could have at least winged him a little bit. You know,
Yeah,
like
totally.
pinned his bicep to the door instead of his sleeve, maybe. I don't know.
Right.
Maybe it's just me and I'm sick. But, yeah. I think that constantly annoys me.
Yeah.
Like when I know you could do something and you don't,
Sure.
and then you end up getting yourself killed as a result.
Yeah, yeah. The villains
It's,
always like to toy with their
yeah.
prey.
That's why I liked Kingsman so much.
Yeah.
Like he didn't mess around. Sam Jackson just straight up shot him right in the head.
Right.
I love that. But yeah, I mean this act is a lot of action scenes.
Yeah, yeah. Because then we go from here to the Bond. Bond gets punked by some teenagers in a convertible, and finally makes his way to the second circus. And clown.
I think. Okay, you go.
I was just gonna say, Clown Bond shows up, and it's unfortunate that we see Bond. You know, we see Roger Moore in a clown outfit, but it kind of makes sense for the situation that he's in, and you know, it's pretty well done. But
I'm glad you brought that up.
Okay.
Because I felt with the situation, he spent way too much time on his makeup.
Yeah, thank you. Yes, yes.
Like he did a great job.
Right.
He's worried about a nuke blowing up.
Right. Because when he finally gets in there and he's talking to the U.S. generals, like, we've got 90 seconds. It's like, how long did you spend on your hair and makeup, Bond?
He's got like teardrops and like all this detailed makeup work that I was just like, oh, jeez.
Right.
Because they make it look fast in the sequence because he's running in between caravans. And then you see his makeup and you're like, that took some time there, Bond.
Yeah.
You couldn't just put a black circle on one eye and white face the rest with a rubber nose. He got all detailed and artistic.
Yeah.
But yeah, I thought the time sequence was a bit crazy.
Totally.
Like, why? I mean, that 90 seconds should have passed a long time ago.
Yeah, to be honest, the entire atom bomb, like, I guess I didn't take a lot of notes because, like, you know, I was in it. I suppose, like,
we just jumped over your gorilla.
Yeah, I said I didn't want to talk about Bond in a gorilla suit.
I want to talk about why he didn't just tell the freaking guards there's a bomb on this thing. I know they're Russian or maybe they're American as well. I don't, because they're at the border and they're getting checked out by a soldier.
Yeah.
So why didn't you just say something there? Because they're going to get caught up in the blast too.
That's true. Yeah.
Instead, he keeps quiet in the monkey suit.
Right.
With his eyes out.
Yeah.
Oh, I so wanted him to get thrown into a real gorilla cage.
Oh, man.
Just like in Trading Places.
Right.
Because that scene where his eyes go wide when he realizes it's perfect. Oh, man. But, yeah, the sequence in the tent is, like, chaotic and...
Yeah.
It's just a hot mess. Like,
because you got him trying to, it's weird because he's trying to plea with the generals, and then, but it's like there's not enough time to get anyone out of here. Obviously, you know. So
and he's kind of pathetic this whole sequence. Like,
yeah.
Can't get a ride.
Yeah. Gets punked by teenagers.
Can't get a lady off the phone.
It's like try a little harder, you know. If it comes down to a nuclear weapon going off, like, you know,
I know James Bond can slap a woman,
right? Forcibly remove someone from a phone booth if you need to.
Yeah, channel your inner Connery.
Yeah. Real Comic Heroes does not condone violence against women. Just want to throw that out there.
Unless there's a nuclear bomb about to go off. then it's like every man and woman for themselves.
Right, yeah. Pull that woman out of that phone booth. And I don't know what call he was trying to make. I guess call
Call
M
that. I thought he was
to
going to call the
call,
base
yeah.
or something.
Maybe you call M to then route a call to the Air Force Base.
Because even when he gets to the base, he's like, "I'm with the circus. Let me in."
Yeah.
Like it's just a feeble, like desperate, sad Bond trying to get something done.
Yeah. So yeah, the whole, he obviously he stops the bomb and that's great and everything, but it's kind of like, well, okay. I mean, and then at this point, so what's the plot of the movie now?
Yeah, now it just turns into, well, I wasn't clear. Does he know that the bomb didn't go off? He sure doesn't seem like he knows.
I wondered that too, because they made a big deal about knowing when the bomb was going to go off. So Khan had like his watch basically set to it.
Yeah.
So that they had to have been anticipating it. So yeah, when they cut to Khan after the bomb has been, disarmed, like, shouldn't he have been thinking, like, surely I would have heard by now about this bomb going off? I mean, for a guy that was like putting all this in motion and double crossing the right people, like, he doesn't really follow up to make sure his plan went off,
Well, he's not even that far away, like logistically, when the bomb should have gone off. Because Bond's hurrying over there, and they're like, "Oh,
right,
killed two birds with one stone."
Yeah,
and that's only like maybe half hour to an hour before the bomb goes.
I mean, they said that they need to be. They said that they needed to be 20 miles away, so I guess there was enough time.
There's enough time to get away, but you'd think you'd still like see like a blast or hear something.
Check for a mushroom cloud,
Yeah, I didn't quite understand that whole thing, because he was basically, they went back to her place in India.
Yeah, out of nowhere we get this Octopussy and her crew storm the palace, and in what was a really badass sequence.
Yeah, I enjoyed it.
I really dug this, her taking charge, and it was,
they're using circus equipment.
Yeah, and at this point I was like, oh, that's right. She controls the circus, and she has an army of women. So it surprised me, because I wasn't expecting kind of the mixture of both, like, skillful, like, assassin type, slash circus stunts. So that was really cool. And then it's like, God damn it, Bond, get out of my women kicking ass movie, because him and Q show up like grumpy old men. And then all of a sudden, suddenly she's in trouble. And
where did they show up in?
Oh, a hot air balloon with a giant Union Jack on it.
Yes. It might as well have just said 007 on the fucking balloon. It was, I literally laughed.
Yeah, I shook my head when I saw it, because I was in this moment of like, holy shit, Octopussy's a badass, and her women are, kicking ass left and right. And I thought, they're going to save the day, and it went both ways. On one hand, I wanted her to like take out Khan, but then I started thinking about it, and I knew that the tide would be turned, and somehow Bond was going to be required to show up to save her, which I was really let down that was the case.
Yeah, I was hoping she'd take out the henchman.
Yeah.
Binda or
Binda?
Binda, yeah.
Yeah.
So I was hoping she'd like take him out some way.
Yeah.
Like at least like sort of if she's not going to take out the main guy, at least take out the main guy's second hand.
Right.
But no, she ended up getting slapped around in an airplane.
Right. So yeah, and then basically the movie kind of wraps up with the plane stunt, which again
was pretty awesome,
out of nowhere, and it was awesome.
Yeah, because Bond, did he chase it down on a horse?
Yeah, yeah.
Okay, that's what I thought.
Which I guess I can buy. I don't.
And then he was able to hold on through takeoff.
Yeah, he holds on basically the entire
Yeah.
way. He's really not on board for too long.
Yeah, it was pretty well done.
I thought so, yeah.
And then like the escape from the plane before it veered off was pretty badass.
Yeah, I like that it kind of ended with him, the plane landing essentially. Giving them enough time to jump out was pretty cool. So it was a very well done stunt. I think the only thing that didn't work is when the Gobinda stunt man, when he essentially goes skydiving, you can see like his jacket flips up and you can just see underneath his clothes are all the harness and parachute and all that stuff.
Yeah,
so,
you can see his padded, but I'll give him a slide on that. My computers didn't wipe that out. So.
Yeah. So
I'll take the fact that they actually did a skydive as bonus points.
Right, yeah.
It could have just been some guy like with a fan and blue screen or whatever. So yeah, I don't knock things like that for older movies just because I know that's what they got to work with.
Right.
They're trying, damn it.
Right.
But,
I didn't add that to my list of things that don't hold up. So
how did this end for Bond and Octopussy? What kind of vehicle were they in?
I think it might have been a water vessel of some type. Shockingly, they end up on her boat.
Yeah. I was like, of course.
Yeah. At least it fit with the location that she was,
Yeah. I was just like, come on.
Yeah. At least it didn't end on the hot air balloon.
That's true. Although it may have for Q.
Oh, that's right. He was doing all right for himself.
Yeah, he was pulling in some ladies. Not too shabby, my man. So yeah, that is pretty much all I had.
Yeah, there's like one tiny button at the end with our friend General Gogol and just kind of making peace with MI6, But yeah, that's basically the end of Octopussy.
Yep. Unfortunately, that is Octopussy.
Yeah.
It's a wild, confusing ride.
Yeah, I had more fun talking about it than I did watching it, but
see, like I basically just enjoyed the action sequences.
Yeah.
So it's a good, I think, popcorn kind of movie where you're just like enjoying the cool scenes because there are some cool action sequences.
Oh yeah.
And you got, your stereotypical Bond moments that, sort of make it a Bond movie.
Yeah.
But yeah, overall, I mean, the story is awful. God, I did not enjoy this plot at all.
Yeah, I didn't either because it took too long to find out what the plot was, and the goal kind of changed a few times, and you had too many players, like between Russia and Kamal Khan and Octopussy and the circus and jewelry and East and West Germany. Like it's too many like moving parts to keep track of.
There were barely any cool gadgets other than the acid pen.
Yeah, I guess they had the watch with the tracking device. That was used. That was used well. The tracking device because he knew that she took the egg from him, and then he immediately started tracking her with it. That was well done, but so
did they ever use the video screen?
No. At one point,
I did.
Yeah, at one point he is down in the. Let me think where he is. I want to say he's underneath the palace, under Khan's palace, but I don't know.
So I know he uses it for the earpiece.
Yeah.
To listen in to the egg.
Yeah.
But does he use that video watch?
I know he does at some point, and it's a weird moment. It was like, where is he getting the video footage from? Like, it wasn't...
I thought that's what he was doing, but I couldn't remember how it worked out.
It wasn't like clearly
Was
defined.
Q holding a camera
He must have. I don't know.
somewhere? Fuck. Yeah, that was the problem with this movie. It was just chaos.
Yeah. Do you want to hit some heroic and villainous moments?
Sure.
I believe there's a hero in all of us
I just finally know what I have to do.
that keeps us honest,
I'm here to fight for truth and justice in the American way.
gives us strength,
You will give the people of Earth an ideal to strive towards.
makes us noble.
And I know in my heart that it's right.
Okay. What do you got for most heroic?
Most heroic, I thought, was actually what we just talked about, and Octopussy kind of taking back her own base. Like, it just seemed like that hero moment where she's like gathered her resources to take out the guy that double crossed her, and it was just like, I picture like this awesome music behind it, and even though I can't remember what the music was,
Right.
but it was just like that action sequence of like taking the, well, I guess they're quasi good group going up against the bad group with all those slimy dudes and what's his face, Khan, or
Yeah.
and his guy. So, because honestly, the only other heroic moment I could think of is just Bond taking the bomb out, but it was so pathetically done.
Right.
It was hard for me to put that there.
Yeah.
So, I mean, that's where I went with it.
Yeah. I have nothing else to add to that. That's exactly the same moment that I had. So
Yeah, it
was
should have been.
it's the most heroic scene in the entire movie. So
Yeah.
up until Bond shows up,
Yeah.
because then it just felt like, really, I don't know. I guess it's a Bond movie, so you want him to be the hero, but they were doing all right, you know.
I guess his heroic moment is the plane.
Yeah, I suppose so. Yeah,
'Cause
he
he's,
does hold
you know,
on to the outside of a plane.
Yeah.
So
takes out the bad guy with the antenna flick.
that was great.
You were made to be ruled.
Gods are selfish beings who fly around in little red capes and don't share their power with mankind.
In the end, you will always kneel.
I think you and I are destined to do this forever.
So what do you got for villainous?
Help.
Yeah,
God.
it's not a clear. I had that just Khan's plan to blow up the circus. I mean, that would have obviously setting off a nuclear device, you know, is a big deal. So that to me is the most evil part of this whole movie.
But I think the best part of that was him trying to explain to her that he wasn't double crossing her, and he was bringing the plates of counterfeit money to her, which was totally a horrible lie.
Yeah.
But I just love the balls to say,
right,
like, "Oh, baby, no, I knew you'd get away.
Yeah,
I got these for you. See,"
knowing that it would have been she would have been in a smoking crater if Bond hadn't shown up.
I just love the like.
No, baby.
Oh, please! I did this for you. I knew you'd get away.
I love you, baby.
I love you so much. Don't have your Amazon women beat me.
Yeah. Don't snoo me to death.
I did kind of think of Wonder Woman the whole time because of the Lady Island.
Wonder Woman. Oh, okay.
That was like
no men are allowed to.
Yeah. Although they don't react that badly.
No, they don't seem
like
to have
I
a
thought
problem
they
with Bond being there.
Or Khan.
Yeah.
Because he's there on the regular, apparently. Actually, I just thought of a good villainous one.
Okay.
Not BJ. Bogdan, or whatever.
Oh, Gobinda.
Gobinda. I don't know why. I keep saying Bogdan. I work with somebody named Bogdan, so I think that's why I'm saying it.
Yeah.
Sorry, Bogdan.
Does he wear a kick-ass turban and crush dice?
Oh, I have no idea. I've never seen the guy.
Oh.
But the cold-blooded way he dealt with the guys in the meat locker.
Okay. See, I didn't know who those guys were.
They were the guys that went out and helped with Olav's getting him the cylinder, the bomb. I thought, like, they take it to the helicopter.
Okay.
And then you don't see them until that moment in the freezer.
Gotcha. I just thought he had bodies in his freezer, and I didn't connect that those were people we had seen previously. So
yeah, they're the ones that helped load the bomb to the chopper for the Russians.
Right on. Yeah, I totally missed that.
He was like, "It's been taken care of," and I was like, "Hell yeah, it has." That was awesome.
Right on.
So that was pretty nasty. All right. Are we going to get in?
Yeah, I was just going to hit the, for whether it holds up or doesn't hold up or what does. Like, for the most part, I'd say it holds up. As far as effects and stunts and production value, I would say, it looked good and there weren't too many, like, glaring, like, obviously the ape suit, but it's an ape costume. It's not meant to be... whereas in like Trading Places, there is meant to be an actual gorilla portrayed in a shitty looking costume, Yeah. So at least it's meant to be a costume. So,
to be fair, in that movie, there is one obvious costume.
Sure.
And then one
slightly
supposedly
less
better.
Yeah.
Not even Planet of the Apes quality.
Right.
Actually, it does remind me of Planet of the Apes. With the gorilla where they've traveled to the 70s.
Okay.
And it reminds me of that.
Yeah.
A little bit.
Yeah.
Because they know there's a primitive, I guess, in the cage next to them or something. Yeah.
So as far as that goes, and obviously some of the themes don't really hold up. I mean...
Russians coming back as the bad guy.
Well, yeah, that holds up.
Trying to take over Alaska.
Yeah.
There's a scene that, like, obviously the shots of more close up.
Yeah.
On the plane and train don't hold up just because of the obvious.
Sure.
Blue screen or green screen, whatever.
Yeah.
But
projection.
Yeah, but the stunts are just incredible to me.
Yeah, I agree.
Like, it is obvious they're really doing it because the wind is insane.
Right.
The struggle is real. Like,
yeah.
Like, whoever the stunt person is, their face is like contorted with like the wind pressure, and it doesn't look like there's any projector behind them.
Right.
So I'm assuming that's legit.
Yeah, with the wide shots, they definitely had people, on trains, and I mean, even the plane stunt guys, they had people on the outside of planes, like. So yeah, they know what they're doing as far as setting up these big action set pieces. So.
Mm-hmm. But what doesn't hold up, as usual, is just it's made to be a spy movie, but the spying is god awful in all of these movies.
It really is.
And it's so weird to me. It's like, and I've noticed this with listening to the Indiana Jones Minute. He's an awful archaeologist.
Oh, yeah.
But, he's inspired many people to become archaeologists.
Yeah.
I wonder if Bond has inspired people to become secret agents. And if so, I am sure they've had to relearn what it is to be a spy.
Probably, yeah.
Because they probably go into it thinking they're just going to be sleeping with exotic ladies and going under their given name.
Walk into a casino, hook up with a hot chick, get some intel,
Like, I don't understand why sometimes. Why does he sometimes have an ID like a secret ID, and sometimes he doesn't?
Yeah, I don't know, because at the beginning of this, he's
like Toro something.
And I like that moment because he actually the real guy actually looked kind of like Roger Moore.
Yeah.
So that was kind of cool. But then, later on, he's when he goes to Germany towards the end of the movie, like he's there as a furniture salesman or some type of like furniture buyer or some. Yeah, but throughout the entire, he's flashing around his real name. So yeah, I don't know.
And he's a famous like naval whatever commander, like with the name James Bond.
Right.
Like he's fairly famous. Like you would think anybody.
Yeah, they had a funeral at sea for him.
Yeah, you would think anybody would know who James Bond is that is like in the espionage world.
Yeah, I do appreciate that Kamal Khan just, he knows that his name's James Bond, but he thinks he's just an adventurer who is trying to get in on this smuggling game. So I like that,
Oh, classic.
Yeah.
Classic.
Are you ready for some pros and cons? And
I mean, I think I've already hit it.
Okay. I just wanted to hit. I guess we already talked about the action. I've already talked about the auction scene earlier. For the most part, the performances and pretty much across the board are I think, really strong, aside from Magda. And I think Bond has better chemistry with most of the people in this movie. With I like VJ, I like him and Octopussy, like so.
More is good.
Yeah,
for what he has to work with.
Yeah. As far as cons go, I wanted to just mention that there's like I said, there's too many elements, but there's no like real connective tissue with all of that. What if Fabergé eggs have to do with Russia and circuses, and it's all just a bit too much. So.
Oh, that reminded me. Did Orlov really crush the reel?
Yes, I think he actually smashes the reel.
That's what I thought. Okay.
Yeah.
But he doesn't want to let him know it's the real one because he's telling him it's the fake one, so he doesn't get too upset or something.
Yeah.
I think is how that's going. Okay.
Because they find the tracking device inside of it,
and
they put the tracking device in the real one, I think.
Yeah.
Yeah, because that's the real one that Bond got from the auction.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
Okay. Oh, man.
So,
that. It's just, there was too many things. Like,
right.
I forgot about the freaking egg, after that point.
Because honestly, at the start of the movie, I thought, okay, maybe this is like, they're trying to move these eggs back and forth, and inside the egg is going to be a computer chip that will... be a targeting system for a rocket to go, from Russia to, U.S. or whatever. Like, I thought it would be some type of component that would somehow be integral to, like, some type of attack. So
yeah. No, it was a poorly planned scheme to.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, it was kind of. Not like cool to have the bomb go off at a military base as an accident.
Yeah. No, I did appreciate that. Once we finally learned of the bomb and how they intended to use it, I did like that it was meant to look like an American accident.
Well, that's assuming that base had a nuclear weapon.
Yeah. Yeah.
Which seems like it would be weird to have one that close to Russia.
Right.
Like, that wouldn't have caused tension. Because I know the Bay of Pigs, like, Cuba thing, the Cuban Missile Crisis, was heated enough, and that was a good distance out.
Sure.
But I would think they wouldn't have a nuclear weapon that close to Russia.
Sure.
So, I don't know. Maybe it's just me looking into it too much, but I'll have to do some research, watch the History Channel.
Yeah. Yeah, report back with your findings.
Yeah.
So overall, what are your overall thoughts and ratings?
This one's got me conflicted.
Okay.
Like, I enjoyed watching the movie just because it It had some fun action, but the story was just the story did not keep my interest at all.
Okay.
So I want to give it points for the audacity for the action sequences with the trains, the plane. What was the other one? The chase through the.
I had planes, trains, and auto rickshaws.
Nice.
Yeah,
exactly. I liked all those sequences,
Yeah.
but as a whole, it was just not as great as I was hoping.
Yeah.
So that being said, I'll probably end up with like a 2.5, which isn't that bad in my opinion.
Yeah.
Like, it's better than it probably should get, but I just really was impressed by the action sequences. And that's part of a Bond movie. It's the action.
Sure.
So that's where I went.
Okay. I mean, at this point, you kind of know what you're getting from a Roger Moore Bond movie. So much so that like the jokes and the situations, they pretty much seem to write themselves. Like, you know where he's going when he sees the camera and the cleavage on the woman, and you know where he's going when he has dinner with Magda. Like, you know how these situations are going to end up. You know that you're going to get a Q scene with some weird off the wall gadgets, and I mean, just at this point, it's just so formulaic and paint by numbers, I guess.
Yeah.
But like I said, performances are mostly good, but the plot is a mess. But it does, like you said, have some of those really excellent action beats. But I'm right there with you with a 2.5. Like, it's...
Okay.
Yeah. So overall, yeah, this one's Octopussy is a 2.5.
All right. Looks like Rotten Tomatoes has this at a 42.
Okay.
So seems about right.
Yeah.
Less than 50%. So, yeah, I could have seen it at like 30 to 45%, somewhere in there.
Okay.
So it doesn't seem like it was a huge success as far as ratings was.
Yeah, and this was the one that had to compete with the Never Say Never Again, Sean Connery sort of Bond movie, you know, the competing Bond franchise that... And I think that this one did do better. Like, it did beat out the Connery Bond, so... That's a whole weird story that I think we've kind of talked about with the rights of Thunderball, and Never Say Never Again is a remake that Connery did in '83 of Thunderball, but it's not very good. I mean, I don't know. Like, I don't really see a reason why we should cover it. It's outside of this Bond franchise, but it is a Bond movie. But we've already done Thunderball, and it is a remake of Thunderball. So I kind of don't know if there's a reason that we would need to watch it.
Yeah.
So.
Okay. Well, yeah, it looks like it's just, it seems like it's a filler Bond. It's just there to take up space and say we put another Bond movie out. And it's very, like you said, it's kind of formulaic at this point. And you know what you're going to get. So, I mean, it wasn't awful, but it was nothing that memorable other than the action.
Right.
Like, nobody's going to remember this villain.
Yeah, like, even like, as much as we both seem to like Octopussy, the character, like, but she's not... I'd prefer a Pussy Galore or who else? I don't know, any Teresa from, you know, On Her Majesty's. Like, I'd watch other Bond movies, and I prefer other characters more than this one. So.
Okay, well, there you have it, folks.
Yeah,
it's a meh.
Pretty much, just it's okay. And it was weird because going into this is the first Bond movie that I had never watched from start to finish. Oof. Some of the beginning stuff kind of looked familiar, but I definitely had never seen the circus stuff at the end. So yeah, this was the. I think I'm assuming this was your first time through with this one. So we were right there in the same boat.
Yeah, I didn't get in until GoldenEye.
Yeah.
With Bronson. Yeah. So, all of these are going to be new to me until that point.
Sure.
From GoldenEye on, I've seen them all, but
yeah.
So next episode, I believe we're hitting one of the greats.
One of the all-time greats.
It's got Richard Pryor.
Oh, how can you go wrong?
It's got Christopher Reeves.
America's Superman. Perfect.
And a guy that looks like Dolph Lundgren, I guess.
No, you're jumping ahead. That's Superman 4.
Oh, are you serious?
Yeah, that's
what the fuck, Superman 3?
Nuclear Man, I think. Superman 3. Yeah, Superman 3 is a hot garbage fire of
God, I don't even know this movie.
Yeah,
I thought it was the Sun one.
I think I've seen it once. Like,
wow.
It's Well, so yeah, we're coming back with Superman 3.
The one with Richard Pryor.
Yeah, that's basically all I can really say about it.
So is he like the wisecracking goofus that what's his face was? Beatty or
no, he's a hapless villain. Essentially, like he's unintentionally a villain, kind of, from what I can remember.
Jeez.
I don't know. I saw it. I watched it a few years ago.
Why?
Because I wanted to round out my.
No.
So.
Not acceptable.
Yeah.
There's no reason. Now I am looking. Oh Jesus, it's got 26%.
Let's not jump too far ahead.
I'm looking up the synopsis just so I can get ready to cringe. Oh jeez. Wow, it's a short one.
Is it?
Yeah, Man of Steel takes on megalomaniac businessman Robert Vaughn, who is using a dopey hacker, Richard Pryor, to help take on the world in this third entry of the big budget special effects laden series. That's all it says.
Nice.
This one places more emphasis on humor than adventure. Oh, jeez. So this is going to be the Roger Moore of Superman movies.
The Live and Let Die, or what's the other one with J.W. Pepper? That kind of stuff, yeah. I don't know.
Jeez. That's awful.
So, yeah, we'll be back with Superman 3.
I'm hoping it's awesome.
Yeah.
I'm going to go into it now expecting it to be a goofy romp.
There you go.
And it is going to be glorious. Yeah. And I will be one of these weirdos that gave it a fresh score.
Nice.
Oh my God. The first one I see that's fresh is enjoyable nevertheless.
Perfect.
If that's not a glowing review, I don't know what is.
Perfect.
Oh, man. That's awesome. Okay. Well, I look forward to seeing how this one pans out.
Right on. Well, if you look forward to Superman 3, you can email us at realcomicheroes@gmail.com. We're on Twitter, Instagram, Facebook at Real Comic Heroes, and you could always leave us a nice review on iTunes, which we would appreciate. So yeah, speaking of social media, I just wanted to take a minute and say I'd like to kind of reach out to our listeners, and I would love some interaction, and I'd love to get to know who our listeners are, and I'm pretty active on our Twitter feed, so hit us up, send us emails, send us questions, let us know what you like or what you don't like. I want to build our community and get to know the people who are listening. So
get out there. That's what social media is for, people.
Yeah. Just reach out to us and say hey.
Yeah. Even if you're trolling.
Yeah. Yeah.
I'm pretty sure that's half the internet is, maybe more.
Right. Yeah.
So, because in every bit of weird comment, you can find something useful.
Yeah. Well, if unless you got anything else.
No, I'll be happy to take another Bond break for a little while after this one.
Yeah, I think.
Unfortunately, we're jumping right into another doozy. So
I think we'll revisit Bond in 1985. I think.
Phew.
So we got some time.
Yeah, we got some good ones in between there too.
Yeah. So, but next time we'll be back with Superman 3. So until then, thanks for listening.
See ya.
When it's time for adventure, it's time for Superman. Alexander Salkind presents Christopher Reeve and Richard Pryor in Superman 3. This time, Richard Pryor has come to Metropolis.
Oh, I'm sorry.
And he's got something to sell. He's the best con man and the world's greatest computer genius.
Let me tell you something. I can't ski.
But then he falls for a scheme to turn the ultimate computer into the ultimate weapon.
Well, what will it do for me?
It will do anything you tell me to tell it to do.
A machine so powerful,
Baby! It's Daddy!
it can control the Earth.
No. Now, getting down to business.
Change the weather.
You know something? You're a genius.
And reprogram Superman.
Thought you'd never get here.
Well, I hope you don't expect me to save you, because I don't do that anymore.
He didn't die. I asked you to kill Superman, and you're telling me you couldn't even do that one simple thing.
Ah.
All right, Webster, the game's over.
But only the man who pulled the switch on Superman
Oh, see, I'm not with them, Superman.
Could have fooled me, mister.
can pull the plug on Super Machine.
You're going to go down in history as the man who killed Superman.
No. Thank you, brother.
Superman 3.
Watch the trees.
This time is going to be the best time of all.